What's up guys, we're back with another patch notes video. This time it's 7.39e, and largely this is a small patch. So for the hero specific things, I think largely most of this is not gonna matter that much. There are some particular ones though that I want to point out. Namely, sinking his blind doesn't affect buildings anymore. That's pretty significant. Magnus's movement could be cancelled during skewer by hexes or stuns or banishes. That's pretty important. Kez got added to captain's mode. That's pretty cool. It looks like he's received a lot of nerfs along with that though. So we'll have to see how powerful he actually is now. I don't even see Kez that much in my normal games anyway. Maybe that's because he couldn't be played in captain's mode, so people didn't really want to practice him. Maybe he's just too complicated for most people. We'll see how that goes and see how powerful he becomes. Earthshaker's damage with the Fisher talent and the Aftershock, his whole build where he would basically Fisher the wave with Shard and Kaya and like blow up waves from a distance is not going to work as well now because the damage works out to where once the creeps have scaled up in health like they do every 7.5 minutes, he won't be able to just one-shot it. So he won't be able to purely one-shot waves safely, but he can still do a lot of damage to them. If the creep wave is damaged like at all, he'll still get most of the creeps. I think it's mostly like it is definitely a nerf to his farming or that particular style of farming, but I think Earthshaker will still be a good hero. He still does all the Earthshaker things. Disruptor's trading is going to be worse because of this slow duration on his Thunderstorm talent. In case you didn't know, his Thunderstrike also affects your attack speed, so that not lasting as long might make it so that you can trade with him more easily. And I'd say the rest are just kind of numbers changes. I don't think they're super relevant. You know, if you play these heroes, obviously read them, but I don't think any of these are gonna break the bank. Some neutral creep changes, also just minor damage nerfs, not a big deal. Neutral item changes, Timeless and Boundless got some nerfs. I don't think it's a giant deal. Maybe you won't pick these on a support, or you won't pick Timeless on a support anymore, but I think you're still going to want to take Boundless if you want the cast range, and if you rely on spell damage, you're still going to take Timeless anyway. Outworld Staff gets a big nerf in relation to things like Juggernaut ult, where once you go, like you exile yourself, you just aren't hit by the Juggernaut ult anymore. This should make it so that you can still get hit by it, or at least the duration can continue. So maybe once you come out of the exile, then you're still getting hit by the Jug ult. Item changes are the biggest thing though. So you can't do the cheese thing anymore with Aeon Disc, where you keep it disassembled and locked in your inventory. You get chronosphered, you assemble the item, and then your Aeon Disc procs instantly. You can't do that because as soon as you assemble it, it's on a 6-second cooldown. That's pretty significant. You're still going to buy Aeon Disc if you need an Aeon Disc, but it's just going to make it less powerful. We'll get to Ghost Scepter and E-Blade, but Helm of the Dominator and Helm of the Overlord got a 50 mana cost added to it. You can no longer use the ability if your dominated creep is taking damage actively, so it'll be less ass to play against, and the dominated creep won't be turbo sprinting around all the time with a million move speed. I mean, it's still 370 move speed, it's still a lot, but I think mainly these changes are to kind of like rein it in as a super powerful farming item, but also to make it less annoying to play against. I expect they'll probably nerf this again though. Also, Refresher Orb gets a pretty decent nerf, I'd say. So the first thing is Reset Cooldown's cooldown now increases by 10 seconds with each subsequent use up to 210 seconds. And it says the maximum is reached after 4 uses. So it'll be 180, 190, 200, then 210. And also the reset cooldown's mana cost increased from 350 to 400. So that's going to be really significant for heroes that don't have very high mana pools. Things like Mars or Faceless Void, maybe Primal Beast. It means basically Refresher Orb is still good, but it's just not going to be as powerful. And it also means that some of these heroes are going to need to buy more mana items in order to sustain using Refresher Orb and all their other spells. So we probably won't see Refresher Orb as much, but it's still a very, very good late game item. You'll still see it in the late game. I don't think it's going to be one of those items that maybe heroes are rushing for on like their 3rd or 4th item anymore though, you know? It'll be maybe late game only. for those heroes. For other heroes like Enigma or Silencer, they'll probably still buy it because they have the mana to actually sustain it. So for Ghost Scepter, Ethereal Blade, Necrophos, Ghost Shroud, Pugnus Decrepify, and Leshrax Nihilism, it says the ethereal form is not applied if the target is debuff immune. For Necro says the same thing. Ethereal form is not applied if the target is debuff immune. And Pugnus says the same thing. For Ghost Scepter, it says Ghost form is no longer active while the wearer is debuff immune, and Ethereal Blade, Ethereal Blast, Ethereal form is no longer applied while the target is debuff immune. So basically, it's the same change across the board. You can't be Ethereal and debuff immune at the same time. Okay, so we'll start off by testing Ghost Scepter. So what we'll do is we'll make this Ethereal, and then we'll pop BKB and see what happens. Right, so if we pop Ghost Scepter and then BKB, basically the Ghost Scepter is ignored. We can try it in the reverse, see if that works as well. We'll have everybody attack. BKB, Ghost Scepter, and you can't have both as well at the same time. So it doesn't matter what order you do them in. You just can't have it at the same time. Let's also check it with Decrepify as well.
Vector of infection.
I'm going.
A galloping infection.
Out of my way.
And we'll check it with Ghost Shroud.
Under attack. Try me.
And E-Blade.
A pox upon you. I go.
Already there. Cruelly so.
And finally, Nihilism. So there you go.
Of course.
You can't be Ethereal and BKB'd at the same time. And we'll test it with Repel as well. So let's Repel, Ghost Shroud, and then attack. And see, it still works. So Repel works in the same way that BKB does in terms of interactions with Ethereal form. And to show the Outworld Staff changes, let's have Juggernaut ult the dummy and then have the dummy use Outworld Staff and see what happens. So I'll cast it from back here so we can get ready. There we go.
Forward.
But let's also do it with Swift Slash just to be sure.
Our blade answers the call. Onward.
And we'll also test what happens if you Outworld Staff first and then try and ult. So Jug can't target them if they're already in Outworld Staff, but if they Outworld Staff after he ults, it won't immediately end his ult.
Swiftly now. It's
Nice. Another change is neutral creep gold / XP penalty for stacked camps increased from 15% to 20%. So basically you're gonna earn less. You're gonna earn 20% less if the camp is stacked. I don't think this is gonna stop anybody from wanting to stack camps or farmed stacked camps. I think you should still do it, but like we saw in TI, like it was really powerful and it was kind of a mainstay of a lot of strategies. I think it still will be. Just because it's so efficient, you're basically creating space out of nowhere, if you want to think of it like that. So you should still stack camps, you should still farm stacks. But yeah, won't be as strong as it used to be. And also, scan no longer triggers on creep heroes. It says, with the exception of Lone Druid Spirit Bear. So I think that means things like Helm of the Dominator, those creeps won't trigger scan to make it look like there's heroes there, which is just a good quality of life change. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, small patch, nothing too crazy. Obviously go through, read these heroes if you play any of them for yourself. And if you want to see the rest of this video playing in the background. This was from a league match in 82L. It's uploaded for free on my Patreon. You can check it out there if you're a free member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.